whining about the lack of appreciation and financial support for their universities from the people of their states. As some of you know, I don't believe that leaders have a right to whine. So instead, I want to talk to you about a number of current substantive accomplishments by our university and the actions we have taken and are initiating to advance economic development and social progress for the people of Oregon and this nation. As many of you know, when things were winding down for many campuses around the country last summer, they actually were heating up here of choice for college in a survey conducted by the Oregonian. This has not only been the case now for all 3 years of this survey, but the percentage of students choosing OSU has increased in each successive year. Both that our international student enrollment has doubled in the last 5 years, and that enrollment of historically underrepresented students reached 18.9% this year, up more than 5% since 2003. Secondly, we received approval to begin the rigorous accreditation process for our College of Public Health in addressing 2 of the state's largest workforce needs. Third, the campaign for OSU closed its fiscal year on June 30th with an amazing $112.3 million in gifts, the second best fundraising year in school history in the midst of one of the most challenging economic climates in our country's history. As of today, we are at $785 million raised against our $850 million goal, which many of you know was already increased from the original goal of $625 million. Contracts and awards. OSU continues to conduct more annual research than all of our system campuses in the Oregon University system combined. And we were pleased that in a year in which many campuses nationally saw significant declines in funding, we lost only $1 million in contracts and grants in the most competitive funding environment for research support. We brought in $184 million in federal grants and contracts. We're well on our way to another outstanding year in funding for our scientific enterprise. In fact, in September, we received $42 million in research grants and contracts, exceeding the old monthly record by $8 million. Impact is growing profoundly, increasing opportunities for success for the people of Oregon by way of educational opportunities, service to our communities, and scientific progress. And at a faster rate than ever before, we are expanding that impact across the nation and the world. I have perhaps the best opportunity of anyone to see that impact on a daily basis. And let me tell you, the view is pretty spectacular. The state of the university is not just sound, but exceptional, and getting more so with each passing day. On that note, I'm particularly glad that each of you are able to be here today as we discuss OSU's economic impact in an exciting new way, thanks to a research project recently undertaken with one of the Pacific Northwest's most respected economic consulting firms, Eco Northwest. Something about OSU that is a first for OUS universities. Our total annual economic footprint now exceeds $2.06 billion. This overall figure comprises OSU's gross statewide economic contributions and societal contributions of OSU research that extends around the world. This total is greater than any similar measure of benefit of Oregon's other 4-year colleges and universities. While this evaluation of OSU's impact is impressive, it may not come as a surprise to some. In surveys of Oregonians and of OSU alumni last year, a research firm discovered that strong majorities of both groups gave OSU higher marks than any other university for, and I quote, making a positive impact on the Oregon 12 report that each of you will receive when you leave today. And it provides a wealth of statistical detail and rich stories of OSU's contributions to our state, the nation, and the world. But for our discussion today, I'd like to focus on a few critical points. First, and perhaps most importantly, let's focus on the more than 4,600 graduates we will have from OSU this June. Our graduates are the most important contribution we make to society, and an interesting fact regarding our graduates: they are more valuable in the workplace than their peers. At mid-career, our bachelor's degree recipients earn more than those of any other Oregon university, and not by a small margin. OSU graduates at mid-career averaged a salary of $86,900, which was nearly $6,000 more than that of the next Oregon Public University, and was only slightly behind that of the University of Washington graduates. But for those of us who get to interact with our increasingly high-achieving student body, this is hardly a surprise.